Hello Copic crafters, it actually is Michelle Houghton here with Copic in the craft room. I'm having a horrible experience with my voice right now, so excuse that. I will get into the coloring and hopefully be able to voice over in a couple days with a clearer voice. But just to get us started, I am going to be doing a Thanksgiving or November kind of fall card today. And I'm using a really fun image from My Favorite Things. This is part of, it's a clear stamp set, and it is from the Harvest Mouse group. So I've done one of these little guys, and I've done this in some dye ink, fine linen, so it's very pale, and I'm doing that purposefully so I can do some no-line coloring again. I promise I'll get back to kind of the standard, but I've just had so much fun doing this. I posted a series of these little mice online on my own page and Facebook, and I really have enjoyed them, and I thought it'd be great to include one of them on a little card and show you how I was coloring them. So I'm going to zoom in and start coloring, and then I will do my normal voiceover and include the colors on the image as well as I am working.
So I'm going to start with some warm grays. The W1 is going to be the base for the fur on the mouse. And I'm filling in most of the face, all but the tip of his nose and the interior of his ear. I'm coming in with R20, and I'm just brushing a little bit of color onto the tip of his nose and up into the kind of inner corner of his ear. I'm using W1 to come back and blend that on the inside edge of the ear. W3 is next, and I'm going to apologize, it's hard to see this, but I'm actually applying the W3 in small, tiny flicks, like little stipples or little stripes. I'm getting my marker very vertical, and so it makes it hard to see. You'll see it better with the W5 as I come in. So not only am I adding that texture, but now I'm focusing a little bit on light source. My light source on this image is going to come in from the upper right corner. So the top of his little head is going to remain a little bit lighter, but you can see now how I'm doing those really short little flicks with the tip of my marker. Coming back in with W3, and I want to soften the edge, but notice I'm still flicking the marker. I'm not blending it or scrubbing it because I want to see that texture. And W1 as well to try to soften that. Now I'm adding a little color to those little paws, his hands, and a little bit of W3 just to add a little bit of shadow on the bottom edge of both hands. W9 is next, and I'm going back and finding that eye, and I am going back a little bit with the R20 and the W5 to kind of finish up that nose. Next are some blues. I've got B93 first, and that's going to fill up that coat. For this no line coloring, remember you go over the line, so you don't go right up to the line, you actually go over the line. So I'm filling this in carefully as best I can around those buttons, around the little stem, getting that back arm as well. B95 is next, paying attention to where my light source is. This is more traditional coloring. I'm coming from the back side around to the front, kind of doing those nice long flick or feathering motions, and from the underside of the arm up. B97 is next, again laying that color down with some flicking strokes or feather strokes. Back to B95 to start blending, and this is where I'm doing more traditional blending, kind of circular, softening those edges with my B95, and then all the way back with my B93, keeping his tummy and the top edge of his arms lighter. Just a touch of Y23 on those buttons. And Y28, I'm really just creating a C curve on those bottom edges, and I don't need to blend, it's such a small shape, but just to give it that dimension. So little pants are next. E23 is what I'm starting with. E27 for some shading, bottom edge and back edge on both legs. E23 to blend. Realized that I missed his tail. So W3 and a little bit of W5 are going to add that tail on the back end. I am going to use W5 on his feet, but I actually think these might be little boots, winter boots, so I'm going to go really dark with these. That's my base, and then W9. So they're almost like little black boots. Blend that together with W5. Now I'm going in for this little tiny sprig of plant that he's holding, and G24 is going to hit the little stems as best I can and that little leaf. I'm going to use G28 to add a little bit of shading. I'm really just drawing on some shading. I'm not going to try to blend this, but to add some dimension. Reds are next for the berries, R24 and the scarf. R29 is going to serve as my midtone. Again, working from the back forward on this little critter because I know my light source is still off to the right. R59 is next. I'm trying to include a little bit of pleating or show the waves of the fabric. And then I am going back on the berries and again just adding that little C curve around the bottom edge. To blend, I'm going to use R24. I'm going to skip my midtone and go right back to my highlight color with reds. That's going to be plenty of ink and still blend those colors nicely.
So I've got my little mouse all ready to go. I used a whole series of colors, and now I'm going to put him on a card. I've done a second one with the exact same color series that I've already fussy cut. And then I've got some card supplies that I've already kind of pre-made and are ready to go. And I'm going to show you a couple new things, fun things today with this. These are glue pens, and I've used them before. They're by Express It. It's the same company that makes this awesome Express blending card that I was coloring on today and usually use. These are glue pens, and they come, what's really cool is the nibs that they come with. This one is literally like a ballpoint pen nib. This one is the wide one. You can see I just squirted glue, so I have to be careful, but nice big broad tip for this. These work awesome on cards, so I'm going to go ahead and stick this down, and then I'm going to use my ballpoint pen to hit all these little tiny areas on my mouse, and it's going to work awesome too. One good little card with a little fun kind of fall mouse on it, ready to go. Hope you find a stamp that you might be able to use and do some coloring yourself this week and in the next few days. Have a happy, colorful week.